we also say that because they are not all powerful, they are not having that capacity to move things, has given rise or birth to what Senator Bela Moki-Charles is saying today?
NOWEFO, and which is Northwest Funds Union, and the Southwest Chiefs Conference, were supposed to be very powerful bodies in this country. When tradition, customs, monarchy is politicized, even the monarchs lose their integrity and their relevance in the society. Our funds were supposed to be the people at the base. Our chiefs were supposed to be at the base, who were supposed to be the voice of the people. As a matter of fact, politicians were supposed to be running there to funds. Senators were supposed to be running to funds to talk to the people. But we have a very, very bad situation whereby even the funds are not to be listened to, because they have lost their credibility, they have lost their integrity, they have lost their rank as funds in the society, because they have politicized a very sacred office that was designed by nature and by custom to preserve and protect the interests of the people. In most occasions, when British came to Cameroon, they used the indirect rule, which means the fund was an intermediary between the state and the masses. Such powers given to the funds came to the extent whereby it was the funds that called the shots. In this time of crisis in Northwest and Southwest, the chiefs were supposed to be the one, when they stand inside the community and hit their hand, the children will come out, because the chiefs and the funds were supposed to be standing on a neutral ground. But the funds and the chief have entered into politics even more than the politicians, to the extent whereby the people already see them as strangers in their community. They have desecrated the monarchical office of the funds and chiefs. Funds are arrested, funds are kidnapped, something that is unheard of from the cultural and traditional background of these two communities, where people of such nature were held in high esteem, heavily respected. Because why? Funds have become parliamentarians, funds have become senators, funds have become municipal councillors, some funds have become regional councillors, thereby making them take side already. If they were neutral, there was a possibility for them to stand as a peace broker between the state and the children. The children have lost respect for the funds and lost over the chief, because the chiefs, instead of standing on a ground whereby they were supposed to have been a bridge between the state and the masses, they have instead taken side, which is very, very critical. So the ineffectiveness of these funds have equally helped to blow up this crisis to the proportion where we find ourselves today. It is unheard of in the Northwest custom that a fund who is highly esteemed and respected was arrested. In the days of Obafemi Awolowo in Nigeria, he was a ruler in the Yoruba land. When Obafemi Awolowo hits his hand on the ground, what the president said doesn't matter. And those were the kind of authorities our funds had in those days, where funds had the capacity to tell people not to go out. If the president said they should go out, they will not go out. But what kind of funds do we have today? Can you tell me that the royalty that was in the great kingdoms of the Northwest and the Southwest were involved into petty, minor politics that has desecrated the office of the funds and the chiefs? No. How do you explain that funds can no longer stay in their communities? Funds who were supposed to be the voice of the people, funds and chiefs who were supposed to be the one that would tell the president that if you have to get to these children, you have to get to me. So you realize that because we have politicized the sacred office of funds and chiefs, they have lost their potency and their essence in the society. Because funds and chiefs, just like clergy, sometimes are supposed to be neutral in crisis like this, that they can walk in the community and meet the boys and tell them that, my children, enough is enough. When that dignity, that honor, that decorum was still upon funds and chiefs, they could come out in the society, hold their rods of authority and accept of authority, and say, my children, drop the guns for now, let us deliberate. and tell the state that if you guys want these children to stop, let us negotiate. The funds are not even in the communities anymore to talk to the children. Why? Because offices of funds that were kept to be sacred, consecrated, and kept for the security of the people have turned into politics. And that is why we have a challenge today, that there is no bridge. There is no bridge. The parliamentarians and the senators on their part, who were supposed to equally be a bridge between the state and the non-armed groups, the non-state groups, were supposed to be the bridge, but they also have gone to the extent of abusing the office of the political officer that were given to them by taking side. This is where we have a problem today. They used to say it takes a bridge to link two communities, and it takes a wall to separate two communities. I can guarantee you, bad leadership in the northwest and the southwest has broken down all the bridges that were supposed to have been used to link the states and the masses. Farmers, chiefs, parliamentarians, senators, build bridges and stop erecting walls to separate the society.
Okay.